Hey y'all, I'm Blaine Phillips.
And I'm Phillips-LeVan.
We're married, like just a minute ago, but we've been together for 14 years.
We have a teenage daughter.
Which means she's basically an adult, right?
We're also growing a business on the side together.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Through all of that, we've learned how to improve so many aspects of our lives and show up in an amazing way.
So we decided to host a podcast to share our journey with you.
It's called Let's Do Life Together, because that's just what we want to do with you.
So if you could use some tips and tricks on how to make life a little smoother,
then you're in the right place.
Come on in and let's do life.
Welcome back, friends. We are excited to have you here and excited to dig into, one of us is super excited if we're being honest, but we're going to dig into episode number 8, where we're going to talk all about priorities and goal setting, because the new year is just around the corner, and that's pretty exciting if you ask me. But first, let us say thanks so much for tuning in so far. We are at episode 8 already, which is really exciting. And we are loving the feedback that we're getting, the topic suggestions, and just the ratings and reviews. Those mean a lot to us personally. And also, if you don't know how it works, those ratings and reviews are what get us noticed and get us out into the world so more people can hopefully hear us and take some tips and tricks away. So we wanted to start by saying thanks and just do a quick shout out to one of those reviews. We'll probably do this every so often, but this review comes in from C. Evans 419. It says, "Wow, these two have a gift for taking what feels frantic or overwhelming in life and flipping it on its backside. They help make it all seem doable. It's practical advice. It's clear direction through the junk that life tosses our way." That feels so good to read and hear and know that we made that connection with someone, because that's what we want to do, because life is crazy and hectic, and sometimes all that poo just feels really heavy. So if we can help give you little things that will make it a little bit better along the way, that's what we're here for. So thanks again for those. We will be reading them, but let's jump into episode 8. Ready, Jason?
Let's do it.
All right. So I mentioned it. We are 3 weeks away from a new year, 2019. It's here, whether you're ready or not. I know you're probably still thinking about Christmas, but spoiler alert, New Year's is my favorite holiday. Oh my gosh, it is. I know that sounds crazy, but I am such a planner and a goal setter, and I love all the things about New Year. I love a new day, a Monday, a new month, but a new year is like the icing on top of the cake, or the cherry or the strawberry. It's like the best. It's like we've reached the summit here, people. And I'm ready. I'm ready to dig in. And I think probably one of the reasons I love it is the goal setting aspect of it. It gets me excited to look at what we've done this past year and then look ahead to where we're going to go this next year.
Right. And we call it goal setting, but it's really like this super ultra mega planning session, and we kind of assess our whole life and kind of where we're at and look forward to the new year and what we've got planned.
It's an event. It's not just we turn it into, it is a holiday tradition to us. We talked about that on previous episodes, but this is a tradition. It doesn't happen in just an hour. We turned it into a whole event where Sienna's involved part of the time, and then it's just us, and it's a thing. There's snacks. It's like a whole day event, because get excited. You're here. You're alive. You get to see another year. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Snacks and mimosas and just dedicated time to looking at all the things.
Did someone say mimosas? Can we have those now? Probably not. Moving on. Anyway, it is important to remind you that no, you do not need a new year to start anew. You need a new moment. At any given moment, you can press the reset button on anything that you're feeling like you can do a little better on. You do not need a new day. You do not need a new week, a new month, and certainly not a new year. At any given moment, the gift that you're still here, press reset on it. It's just a super exciting time. So I would be remiss? What's the right word there? I don't know. But I wouldn't be right if I didn't remind you. You don't need to wait. Wherever you are right now, 3 weeks is not something that you wait to put into action if you're feeling like you need a little boost in a certain area. But it is a time that we will encourage you to dig deeper, to really look back over the entire year and what was great about it and what wasn't, and then look forward to the new year. And we're going to get into specifics on what that day kind of looks like for us, and hopefully encourage you to maybe adopt some of this, part of this, all of this. You're like, oh, I never thought to do that. That's dope. I want to do that. So we're going to talk you through our process. We're going to give you some resources at the end to start doing it on your own a little bit. And let's dig in and talk priorities and goal setting. Ready, Jason?
Let's do it.
So as we mentioned, it's become an event. So that's the first thing we would recommend, is just schedule in when that time is going to happen. When are you going to have this debriefing session? It's the holidays. And yes, the first part of Christmas and things like that, you've got neighbors to hang out with and family to visit, but there's generally that week between Christmas and New Year's that's kind of a lull in your life. You likely are off work, or if you're not working as many days as normal, and you've got some lull time. So pick a time, a day, an evening, whatever works for you in there, and go ahead and talk to your partner, talk to your family, schedule that in. Like, when are we going to actually have this planning debriefing session, if you will? Because if you don't make a plan and you don't put a schedule, it's not going to happen. Someone else is always going to fill up your time.
Right. And probably don't pick one of the actual holiday days, because those tend to get consumed by other people.
Right. You probably don't want to pick your planning session to happen on Christmas Eve. I mean, not that you would, but don't do that. That's a bad idea.
Right. And I have a pro tip. One thing that I've started to do is, we take time off around the holidays. I like to take the day the kids go back to school off, and it's a good way to end that holiday season.
Oh, so good. If you can do that, it's really good just for you as a couple too, to have that day. Kids are back to school. You are not back to work. You can do whatever you want, a planning session, a little break from the planning session, whatever. So you've got your date planned, and then go ahead and make it fun. What does fun mean to you? For us, it's mimosas and charcuterie. Truthfully, those are two of our most favorite things, but maybe you don't care about either of those. But make it an event, make it an experience. So is there some special dinner you could make that you put in the oven? Is there some tradition or some special thing that you don't rarely get and you just want to have, and whatever it is, if that's jammies, if you just want to wear your jammies and take off your bra and drink a mimosa and have a session, talk to your partner about it. What would they like to see? What would you like to see? And make it a fun thing. So we are scheduled, we know when it's happening. Now it's time. We're going to actually dig into it. And the first thing you really want to do is you have to figure out your priorities. It's so easy for us all to say, we're busy. We don't have time for this and we don't have time for that. And the truth is, if you stop yourself sometimes and say, I'm too busy, if you change those words to say, it's not a priority, I'm betting sometimes that would be a gut punch, like, ouch. And sometimes it wouldn't, because that's okay. That's okay that certain things are not a priority, not just okay, but more than okay, because you've defined what your priorities are to you and or your family. Jason and I have that conversation regularly. There's about 5 things that make the list. Like, these are the most important things to us. And time is tight and time is precious, and you don't have enough to go around. And if it's not on the priority list, maybe it shouldn't get your time.
Right. You can't do all the things, and time is limited. So that's why we decide kind of what we're going to focus on together and individually.
Yeah, our family is a priority to us. Spending time together as a family, unplugged, having adventures, things like that, that's a priority to us. Growing our side business, that is a priority to us. But like, Jason's not striving for a big promotion at work. That's not a priority to us right now. He likes his job and he's comfortable there and he does a great job at it, but he's not working towards some big promotion. Maybe you are. Totally okay. That makes your priority list. We're not trying to grow our family. all done making babies over here. Not happening. But maybe getting pregnant and growing your family is a priority. So that gets to go to the top of your list. Whatever it is, you figure out your priorities, because that's going to come into play big time when you start getting into setting goals for yourself.
Right. And I think you need to start with kind of assessing where you're at in some basic areas in your life. And again, that's collectively as your family unit, that's as a couple and as parents and as your own personal self.
It's true. We start with the big picture, and we're actually going to give you a download that you can go and grab from blamephillips.com, and you'll see exactly what we're going to be talking you through today. But the first step of that is assessing these different areas of your life, just giving them a ranking system. Like, how are you doing in each of these areas? Answer yourself openly and honestly. So that's where we start, like you mentioned, just assessing the different areas, and then we dig into each of them. So we're going to go through each of these areas with you. You'll see them right there on your worksheet. This is the exact worksheet that we use, and we go through them and just talk about different goals and examples and kind of show you our process.
So first, we'll just take a pass at a ranking for each area, just kind of a gut feeling. How do we actually feel we're doing in this area?
Right. And just rank it 1 to 10. You decide. We usually say 1 is low and 10 is the highest. And maybe some of them have the same ranking. That's okay. But where do you feel? I'll go through the areas pretty quickly. I'll tell them to you here. So the first area we rank is really the biggest time sucker of all. We call it your 9 to 5. And that can be whatever for you. That is your career. That's maybe the business that you're growing on the side. Maybe you're a full-time student. Maybe you're a full-time mom. What gets the most amount of time in your day? Your 9 to 5, whatever it is. So that's area number 1. Next is your finances, your family, your romance, your relationship, wherever you're at there. Personally, your health and wellness, and your friends. And like I said, we're going to dig into each of these, give you an idea of what we're thinking about, but you're going to start with ranking those areas. So now we've gone through each of those areas, right? You have given yourself a number score of where you think you are with each of them. And you're going to focus in on the lowest one. Which one got your lowest score? Say you have 2 that are tied, both at 4. Which one hits your heart first? That's the one that we're going to encourage you to focus on for the next 3 months, because you can't do all the things, right? You cannot improve all the areas of your life at once. It's just not possible. And when you try, you get overwhelmed. It's not okay. So we're just going to pick one area, the lowest ranking one. Does that mean you let all the other areas go? No, but it's just not getting your main focus at the moment.
Right. And as we get into some of these examples, you can see how they kind of all tie together.
Yeah, we're going to go through each one and just give you what our mindset is. Because to be truthful, at different times of our seasons, different parts of the life, different ones of these have been low for us, and we've focused in at different times, and the same will happen for you. It's what happens in life. We ebb and flow in different areas. You might be rocking it in the 9 to 5 space, and then all of a sudden you look around and you're like, oh, poo, my relationship is struggling, and you need to shift a little bit and focus on that this next quarter. So we're just going to go through each of these, give you some ideas on if that's the area you need to focus on first. Here's what we might encourage you to think about as we start to dig in and set those goals, because that's the next step. Is we have our assessment. Now we have our area that we're going to be focusing on. Well, we want to set some goals for that particular area and some steps that are going to lead us to that goal. We're talking big picture. Remember, it doesn't happen overnight. The area did not get low on the ranking overnight, so we can't get out of that place overnight.
Right. And this was really our counter to New Year's resolutions, which seem to be arbitrary at some point. And doing it this way, this system really kind of hones it in and lets you focus on what you should be focusing on. So your priorities, not those generic resolutions.
Right. That you write down and you're gung-ho and you're slaying it for like a solid 10 days. And then you're like, I failed. No, you didn't. Stop. We're going to chunk it down. All right. So let's say that you ranked your business, your career, your school, whatever it is that's getting that bulk of your time, your 9 to 5, that ended up the lowest rank. So you're going to be setting some goals and some tasks based in that area for this first part of the year. And remember, we do this multiple times throughout the year because things change and something might be rocking and now something needs attention. So ask yourself, what areas do you want to see growth in when it relates to your 9 to 5? Are you a full-time student and you need to get your grades up in a certain subject? Do you want more responsibility in your job? Like you're looking to level up? Are you growing a side business and you want your social media following to increase? Whatever it may be, what areas do you want to see growth in? Because you need to attach something actually measurable to where you're going with this. Is it income goals? Are you currently at a certain level and you want to level up? You want to make more? Maybe you're working toward an award. There's some sort of recognition. I mean, I'm just saying, I like a nice certificate. So maybe there's some sort of recognition that you want to go for. What is it that you want to improve in your 9 to 5?
And you do need to get specific with the goals. You can't just say, I want to lose weight, for example, or I want to do better at school, or
I want to make more money.
Right.
Like, what does that mean? How much more money do you want to make? Like, let's get specific here, because most people out there are going to say, I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. Cool. How much? Get specific.
Right. And then once you have that specific goal, the next step is to figure out the steps to get to that goal.
Exactly. So you're going to see on your worksheet just a line item for some task. Just start thinking about it. This is not in stone. Like, friend, is not permanent. These are just ideas to get your brain starting to work. So if you're looking to grow your social media following for your side business, what does that look like? Is that posting more consistently? Is that doing better with what you're posting? Maybe learning to use your camera a little bit more. Do you need to get your grades up in class? Do you need a tutor? Whatever it is, let's write down some tasks so you have some actionable steps to take to start reaching that goal. Because you said this was a low area in your life, a priority, so let's improve it. We need to know how we're going to improve it, right?
Right. So it takes the goal and creates a plan.
Yeah, because I love a plan. So the next area, let's say that you ranked finances low. Your family's finances, your personal finances, whatever you feel, and I'm betting that's a kind of a big one right now because it's the holiday season and we're in spend mode. But after the first of the year, when you sit down to have this planning session, you're like, yikes, spend mode. It's all fun and games till we have to actually sit down and look at the bank statement. So maybe your finances are an area that you need to focus on first and foremost.
For us, we look at finances regularly anyways, and it's not necessarily going to be something that ranks low on our assessment, but we like to take a look at where we're at and what we've got planned, what we've got scheduled coming up, and just do that assessment. It's good to do at least once a year. We try to do it quarterly.
It's true. And if finances was an area that you ranked low or an area that you're just going to take a look at, I'm going to go back to the reminder of mimosas during this session is a nice thing. I'm just saying.
For us, I tend to pay the bills and watch the money. So we use this as a time to kind of catch up and let the other person know where we stand and how the finances are looking.
Maybe that's why I always feel like I need a mimosa during this time. I mean, I have an awareness, certainly. It's so funny because Jason is the one who does all the accounting, kind of behind the scenes stuff for us. He pays the bills and he does the spreadsheet and all that stuff. But interestingly enough, I'm the one that actually spends more money because I'm out in the world. I do our shopping and our day-to-day stuff. And so I have an understanding, but when we sit down, we're talking big level stuff here. I'm like, okay, let's see the numbers. Let's see what's going on. And it's a good reminder because if you are the person like me who is generally spending it more and he's doing the numbers, I need to have my finger on the pulse, if you will, and understand, because it's very easy to get away from you when you're spending and if you're not paying attention to it as much, I guess. So we really looked, I would encourage you to sit down and take a hard look at everything bit by bit. And that's what I like to do. I'm like, okay, let's see it all. Let's see what we've been spending. Let's look at those statements. Let's look at those balances in different accounts and what's happening. And it's just good for me to see it and have an understanding, since he is the one who pays the bills and does that spreadsheet stuff on a day-to-day basis.
So it's good to look back and look at a lot of these kind of recurring charges or bills that you're paying, and maybe you don't actually need those anymore. It could be some apps that are subscription based, and you don't remember why you actually are paying that $3.99 every month, and those things start to add up.
So true. I go in with a trim the fat mindset faux show. I'm like, all right, let's see it. And if finances are an area you ranked low and you're looking to save more money, maybe you want to go on a vacation or you want to do something, then you need to look at these numbers. It might not be the best conversation that you're looking forward to, but you need to look at it. And he brings up a great point. I guarantee there are areas that you can trim the fat in. Every single time we do this, there's something I'm like, why are we paying for that again? We don't need that subscription. Like, girlfriend, if DVDs are being delivered to your house for $30 a month and you're not like, for what? Stop it. Go to Redbox. Use that $30 for something else.
We also use this opportunity to look ahead and what's coming up. And we look at, trips or vacations or, things that, any travel that we actually have booked or would like to take. We'll get into the, when we talk about our romance time, how we plan quarterly getaways, but also some of those one-offs or the bigger type of expenses that are going to come up. For example, Sienna and I have glasses, so we don't get new glasses every year, but if 2019 is a year we're going to most likely get or need new glasses, that's an expense that we like to plan for.
Yeah, life's going to show up when you're not ready for it in unexpected ways. We know that. So you're going to need new tires when you didn't plan on it. The air conditioning is going to go out. But anything you can possibly plan for in advance and just do a year in review and put it out there, it's going to benefit you in the long run when it comes to finances. So we do our best to write down, what do we want to do? Maybe we want to take a vacation. That doesn't mean the money is there, so we can figure out how to put it there. Or we have, like Jason said, a medical expense coming up or something, house improvement. Is there an improvement that you want to make to your house? And just get all that stuff down. So take a look at where you are, a hard look at where you are. Then figure out where you can trim the fat. Do you need to tighten up? Are you eating out a little too much? And you said you wanted to go on a vacation this year. Well, I bet a lot of it's in your food budget. So hone that in, girlfriend. Stop eating out. Get a little more responsible with how you're meal planning and trim the fat any areas you can, and then plan for this next year coming up. I bet you will see a drastic improvement in your finances if that's your focus this time. So the next one on the sheet was family. Maybe family ranked low and you're going to focus in on that to start with, or when you do, because I promise a season's going to come where you were so busy working for that promotion or you were digging in to save money and things started to suffer because of it. Because remember, we know we cannot win on all fronts all the time. So at some point, you're going to reach the place where your family is probably going to rank low. That's okay. Ours has too. Don't feel bad about that. It happens. We're human. But here's what we're going to do to get past that. For us, family is this family, our immediate family, the people that live inside this house, because those are the closest humans to you. Those are your people. I like to say these are my two favorite people in the whole wide world. And most days that's true. I kid. They are always my favorite people, even when they annoy me. But so your family is your area of concern or area of focus at the moment. So for us, we like to figure out, how do we get back in the groove with our family time? What are ways that we can use our time together to get tight again? And one of the things that we love as a family is taking a trip. So this might be looking at trips that we want to take together, a family conversation, even if it's just a weekend adventure. It doesn't even have to be overnight. Like, gosh, I miss you guys. Let's carve out a Saturday on the calendar where we're just going to go and hike and picnic and unplug and be together.
It could be that you want to be active together as a family more regularly, or, family game night once a week, getting back to those types of family times. We also look at, do we want to host more people? Do we want to bring people into the mix more often? Or do we want to serve the community or give back somehow as a family?
I want to come back to the getting more people in the mix for a minute. Like, I think there's definitely a balance here of making sure that you're getting in that quality family time with just yourself. But there's also an important place for community. And let me tell you, if you have never had just people over, not your regular same old friends, but other people over into your home for dinner to break bread together, as I would say, because I'm Southern. There's so much value in this. And if you don't know who to invite, let me tell you where to start. Start with the people who are in your children's lives. Who out there is influencing your children? Because we both know it's not just us. Yes, you have the strongest influence, but you're not the biggest one. Well, you are the biggest one, but you're not the only one. Are they involved in youth group? Who are their friends at school? Do they do sports? Who are those people that are influencing your child's life, and how well do you know them? Can you have them over? Sienna's recently gotten really involved in youth group at church, and she talks about her leader and really likes her leader, and we didn't really know her that well. So we invited her over for dinner. You get it on the books because this is a person who's spending a lot of time with our daughter. We want to know her, and she's fabulous. But that's those people that are influencing your kids. That's a great place to start when you want to just have someone over. And she loved it. It was a great night for our whole family because it was like sharing a piece of her world with us. We got to know her. She got to know us. And it was a good time all around. So if you're looking for how to bring that community part in, let me tell you, start with the people who are helping your kids. Jason also touched on service. Huge. It's so rewarding to get out and serve in your community. And that can look any way you want it to. You can volunteer for things. Jason, what are some things we did this year?
We volunteered at like a 5K and a couple races like that. And they're always looking for volunteers, and it's something that the whole family can participate in. There's no age requirements generally, or at least in our case, Sienna was definitely old enough to volunteer.
We can do all kinds of things. There's a great resource actually by State Farm Insurance. You can go right on their website, and this is not sponsored. I don't even use State Farm actually, but right on their website, they've got like a Be a Good Neighbor program. You plug in your zip code and they will give you volunteer opportunities right there in your neighborhood, in your community. And it's all different things and age requirements, and getting out and serving together feels really good. You're making memories and you're teaching your kids how to show up for other people in need.
In the past, we've also had everybody kind of nominate a charity that they want to give to for the upcoming year, and then kind of pitch it to the rest of the family as why we should give. And it just kind of collectively, as we earn money, we earmark part of it to donate. So it's a good way to kind of have that involvement from everybody.
It was super cool too, because the kids came with charities that I hadn't even heard of and vice versa. So it was a great opportunity. These are just ideas. Remember, your kids may be younger, they may be older, but if family is an area that you need to focus on, then just figure out what that might look like to you. Is that more game nights? Is that what goals do you want to set for your family? Is that do you maybe not eat dinner around the table together and you want to focus on a goal of 3 dinners around the table a week? Awesome. Start there. Have conversations, guaranteed unplugged time, whatever it is. Or then you go, you do like we do, you serve or you plan a trip together, whatever it is. Just start writing down those goals and some tasks to make it happen. If you and your family decide that you really want to take a trip to the beach this summer and you need money to make that happen, so how can you earn that together as a family? Those are tasks. Do you have stuff you can sell, a yard sale you want to host, whatever it is? Just break it down and chunk it down. All right, we're getting into my favorite one. You ready, Jason?
Is this the sexy time one?
Always with the sexy time over there. Yes. So this one is romance. Whatever romance may look like for you. For me, it's Jason, who is my new husband. Say that out loud a couple times.
So it's romance is what we call it here, but it's your couple. It's your partner, your relationship with your person. And we actually have a couple episodes already that you can go back and listen to, talking about date nights and getaways. But this is the time of year that we will actually start scheduling those, get the calendar out, look ahead. For us, we like to have a getaway or a staycation quarterly. So we look at the calendar and pencil those in for, 4 weekends over the next year.
And we know it is so easy. Unfortunately, it's so easy for your relationship to struggle during different seasons of life if you're really honing in on other things. I think it's because sometimes we take our partner for granted, that they're always going to be over there. And so I'll circle back to you once I've hit that promotion. I'll come back to you once I've reached that goal that I'm working towards. So if this was an area that ranked low for you, don't be upset. You can change it at any given moment. It has ranked for us at different times. We've mentioned this at date nights where I'll just look over and say, I miss you and I want to reconnect. And reconnect is not sitting across the couch from them. So it's always an area that we are coming back to and making sure that we have those regular date nights on the calendar. That's something we do throughout the year, but this is an opportunity for you to kind of talk about that with your person. Do you guys want to dedicate one night a week? Like, hands down, this is it. Thursday nights, we do date night, and you set that intention going in for the whole year. And we also talk about getaways, like Jason said, and that flows right back up to finances. No, all getaways are not always going somewhere, but if we want to go somewhere on those, we need to make sure we are talking about that at the financial piece of things as well.
Right. So you can kind of see how everything starts to tie together, and which is why I call it this ultra mega planning session. And it's really a holistic view, and you have to look at all these things together.
Yeah, everything just loops back around to each other. Something to think about too. We like to talk about this because we entered into this space a few years ago and it changed our whole lives, but that's couples conferences, personal development conferences, whatever you want to call it. If you have not been to something like that with your partner, I would encourage you to really look at that going into this year, whether that is a Christian couples conference, a business conference, a growth conference, whatever it is. Like, I cannot tell you how cool it is to get into a room for the weekend, sitting beside your person, dedicated, unplugged time to listen from other people who are experienced in an area you want to grow in and learn from them. The energy in that room is like electric. Just people are there to show up for themselves, to level up, to do better in their business, in their marriage, in their parenting, in their Christian life, whatever it is, whatever conference you're at, they want to do better at it. That's why they're sitting there. So go to one of those. There are local events all the time for one day. There are travel to them for the weekend, whatever you are. But some of mine and Jason's closest and best moments have come out of a conference. It's what led us here. It's what led us to podcasting and talking to you. That came from a conference. The spark was lit. We met someone and we learned how, and now we get to talk to you in your ears. How cool, right?
And it's kind of double dipping on the getaways. So you're out there learning and growing, but you're also spending that time together, especially if it's a remote event that you travel to.
Absolutely. So let's look at that next category. That's personal. That's you. We're talking about you. Are you taking care of yourself? I mean, you hear it all the time that you can't pour from an empty cup, and it's really true. I mean, you can, and then you will hit a wall. I did this, and I think I'm speaking to my mamas for a second. I think we're the worst culprits of it because we just have this mentality that we need to take care of everyone else around us first. And you give and you give and you serve and you serve. And then you crash on the couch right after you put the kids to bed. You had not sure when you had your last shower. You don't know anything that brings you joy, and you're just not taking care of yourself. That's not sustainable, and that won't last. So here's an opportunity for you to look in. Is there a new hobby that you just want to start? A little piece of something for you that you want to learn and stretch yourself a little bit?
Or something you want to get back into. So maybe you used to paint and you don't paint anymore. Well, is that something that brings you joy? Maybe you need to get that back into your life. So you have to carve out that time. When am I going to do that?
Friend, you have 30 minutes to sit down and put on some tunes and paint that picture. I'm not painting because I'm not good at that. But whatever it is for you, is there something new you want to learn or something old that you want to bring back, revitalize in your life? Take a little time to focus on yourself. And for us, this is a big one, is therapy. Do you maybe need to carve out an hour in your week or every other week to just go do some self-care and talk to a therapist? We are big advocates of it. Both Jason and I see therapists separately. We've seen them together. Whatever it is, having that unbiased third party to really listen and take care of you, it's pretty invaluable at times, I will say.
Right. So you've got that mental wellness aspect, but then there's also your physical health and well-being.
Rolling us right into the next category, health and wellness. So we talked about your personal self is really those other things, those hobbies, those internal things. But now we're going to talk about health and wellness. Where are you at? How do you feel? Can you stop for a second? Just right there while you're listening to us. How do you feel? Are you energetic? Or are you lagging like, oh my gosh, I can't make it? Do you feel like you could go exercise because you've got energy and you feel good? Or are things tight and stiff and sore and you just don't feel great in your body? I'm not talking about your weight. I'm not talking about any set pants size. I'm asking you, how do you feel? Because you should feel full of energy and excited for life and happy when you look in the mirror for where you are. And if that's not how you feel, then it's probably an area that ranked low and you need to focus on your health and wellness a little bit this season.
And this is one that is so popular for a New Year's resolution. And so you really need to get away from I want to lose X amount of pounds, because honestly, you can lose that same 20 pounds several times throughout the year and you're not going to feel any different the next new year.
Absolutely. Let's hone in on, how do you want to feel? Did you have your recent well visit and your panel came back and there are some areas that you need to focus on, cholesterol, blood pressure, whatever those may be? So let's break that down and look at goals on how to get that panel looking better. Or is there we said you want to feel good. Is there a race or an event or something that you envision that would make you feel powerful and you maybe want to make that a goal? Spoiler alert, I got one. I really just see it as so powerful to complete, whatever you want to say, a Spartan race. To me, that's like just this mega thing. So that's a goal for me going into 2019. I am registered for a race coming up in April, and it's not about a number on the scale or a pant size. That's a goal, and my tasks are training for that. And I know I will get stronger and I will feel better in my body just working towards that event.
And this is one of those examples of how setting a goal like that can kind of drive some of these other things. So if your goal is you want to be stronger, feel stronger, be able to do, 20 push-ups on your toes, well, training for some other event is going to kind of lead you to accomplish that goal.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just, it takes your mind off this number on the scale or the certain inches that you're looking to lose, and you have a bigger goal. And those things are inevitably going to happen because you're going to feel so strong. I can see it already, and we're months away, but I know how strong I'm going to feel at that starting line and at that finish line come April because I worked for it. So how do you feel? Think about that, friend, and what steps can you take? Do you feel tired? Do you just need to drink more water? Like, are you drinking enough water? Are you getting enough sleep? Instead of thinking about your weight and your pant size, look at other things. Are you truly fueling your body with good food? Do you even know what that means? What good food is? Because it doesn't come in a box. Spoiler alert. So dig into those health and wellness, how you feel, and then what steps, what goals can you set for yourself, and what steps can you take to get you there. And we're going to round out the last area that we ranked for ourselves comes in at friends.
So who are you spending time with? Who is in your life? Who are your friends that you want to have in your life? And honestly, this is where you might want to take a hard look, and maybe you're spending a lot of time with people who are not bringing you joy.
Yeah. How do you feel when you leave those friends? Do you feel like you've been encouraged and you're excited, or not so much? Do you leave feeling drained of energy and you're like, why did I just give that dinner date 2 hours of my life? Oh boy. Then that's an area. Sometimes we gotta cull people. It's just the truth. It doesn't make you a bad person. It's just not they're not where you want to be in your life. So take a look at those friendships, because sometimes I know when I'm focused on other things, I'm focused on that Spartan and I'm training and I'm doing that. I let my friends that are closest to me, that I adore, that I want to spend time with and bring me up. Sometimes I don't make enough time for them. So if this is an area you need to focus on for the next season, carve that out. Shoot those texts. Girl, can we get a dinner date on the books? Plan a girls' getaway, whatever that looks like. But we're going to encourage you. We've said this time and again, but time is precious, friend. We don't have a lot of it. So you need to get real intentional about who you are spending your time with.
And maybe your goal is to get some new friends, get some new like-minded people into your life. Well, how do you do that? So you've got to branch out and look for those meetups or those local groups and get active in that community.
That's a great idea. Exactly. If you're volunteering, you might meet people there, people that are like-minded and out there doing the same things that you are. Make great friends. If you're doing something with your health and wellness, training at something, a new gym buddy, or whatever it is, it might be the season that you want to make new friends, positive people to put back into your life. So quick recap, if you're looking at your worksheet that you downloaded, we did the assessment. We started with the assessment, just 1 to 10, and it's okay. No, it's not 1 through 10. It's just look at 9 to 5 and give it a ranking 1 to 10. And some of them might have the same. That's okay. But we look at your 9 to 5, whatever that means to you, your finances, your family, the romance category, personally, health and wellness, and your friends. Look through those, rank them, and then see what comes up in the lowest category. If you're tied, if it's a 3-way tie, whatever it is, which one? First, feet to the fire. Which one hits your gut first? Probably where you need to focus in on. Then you look down at the bottom of that sheet and you see the opportunity to set some goals in that category. So whatever it is, if it's finances that you're honing in on right now, what are some goals? You want to make X more dollars. You want to pay for this vacation. You want to save. You want to pay off that credit card debt this much sooner, whatever it is. And then we give you a line item for some specific tasks that you can do that. Well, if you want to pay off that car a little bit sooner, you're going to need a little extra money, right? Well, how are you going to do that? Because you trimmed some fat, or because you sold some things, or you took some extra hours at work, or you started a side business, whatever that is, you're setting goals and then you're giving yourself some little tasks to get to that goal.
The idea of the goal is to elevate those numbers that you just assessed that, I'm not doing that great in finance or health and wellness. Well, the goal is to the goals that you write down should increase that ranking for you next time.
Absolutely. And remember, I believe everything in life is better with a plan. But a plan is not set in stone. It's just so we know where we're going. We have some direction. Life is still going to toss poo in your way. It's going to happen. And you're going to dodge the poo as best you can. And then you might need to stop and course correct a little bit. But you can reference back to your sheet. Maybe you need to do a new assessment. You don't have to wait for 3 months. You can do one every month. You can do one every few weeks. Whatever's the right fit for you. You can print this paper out as many times as you need to self-assess your life, set some goals, and start taking action on it wherever you are. It's a plan. And you can't fail. There's no pass or fail in this because you're being honest with yourself and you just want to get better. So give yourself some grace and chip away at it. We've chunked it down. We didn't ask you to go in all of these areas all at once. It's 2019 and I'm going to be the best of my whole life because I'm going to change everything in all these areas on January 1st. No, you're not. And if you are, talk to me by January 10th. No, you're going to chunk it down. And by the end of this year, you are going to be amazing. And you're going to get to look back at all of these pieces of paper because you're going to save them. And you're going to be like, wow, look at that. I doubled down and look at the push-ups I can do. Rock star.
And honing in on that one kind of priority area is really going to have the bigger impact than trying to spread it out over all the things.
It's so true. This just gets me so excited. Is it New Year's already? I can't wait. I guarantee we will be sharing all about our goal planning session over on Instagram and Facebook. There will be some lives going on to show you what we're doing and what we're excited about, even more than we shared today. I'm excited about the Spartan. Jason. But we'll be sharing about it. So we hope you have a wonderful holiday season. We hope this has your brain turning and churning and excited to start making those plans. And we're excited to share. So come on over to the socials. Follow us. I'm Blaine Phillips on Instagram. And we have J.LeVan on Instagram. So you can see what we're doing and watch for those lives. And then we want to hear about you. What was your area that you need to focus on when you did the assessment? And do you need some ideas from us? Or do you have some dope ideas you want to share with us?
Or if you get stuck, just, slide into our DMs and we'll chuck you through it.
Yeah, let us help you because girlfriend, goal setting and priorities, that is my jam and it gets me so excited. So until next week, thanks for joining us. Bye.